KGC Show with Cowboy Caden. The KGC Show with Cowboy Caden. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. The KGC Show.
What's going on, everybody? It's KGC here, and wow, what an incredible guest we have today. Well, you already know your host because we're streaming this on his channel, but we're pre-recording this on his channel, and we thank you, Jay, for allowing us. But he is one of the best podcast hosts that I know of. He's also one of the only podcast hosts I know. But he's definitely a great talent in our industry, in our podcast business, in our industry, and it's been such a great honor to get to know him over the past couple of days, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy his stories just as much as I will. Please give it up for the host of the Jay Franze Show, Jay Franze. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
I am very good, sir. I am very excited to be here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. How's life out where you're at?
It's not bad. It's starting to get a little warmer, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but not bad at all.
Yeah, man. And thank you again for coming on the show. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of your show, and
Thank you.
I can't wait to let people hear our great conversation that we're going to have today. It's going to be a good one.
Sounds good to me.
But man, the first question I got to ask you is, how'd you get inspired to do your show? How'd you start your show?
No, that's a good question. I never would have thought I'd be having a show like this, but I worked in the music business for 35 years, and I've gotten to know quite a bit of people. I've had a chance to work in Nashville for 20 of those years and got to record some projects people may have heard on the radio, that type of stuff. And it seemed like every time I would talk to family or friends, they didn't care about what I was doing or what I was working on. They always just want to know what it was like working with the artist or working with the people that they knew. So after a while, that inspired me to just go ahead and start having these conversations with the people I knew and recording those conversations. And it turned into a show. And we released the show as a podcast and YouTube channel and a couple selected radio stations, that type of stuff. And now people get to hear the stories of the people that I've worked with. A lot of friends, family, people that I've known for a long time at this point.
So what is it like getting to know all these artists that you've known for all of these years? But what is it like for you to sit down with them on your own show, not like a company show, and sit there and talk to them? What does that mean for you?
Well, I love it. It's an opportunity not only to catch up with some old friends, but to meet some new ones. And, having a show like this, it's a long form show, so it's an hour long typically. Sometimes it goes a little over. But you get to talk to somebody for an hour, and that's not something you normally get to do. So normally in our world, it's rush, rush, rush. And even when we're in the studio, things are built on based on time, and time is money. So everybody wants to move fast. So getting an opportunity to have these shows and have these conversations that are dedicated to about an hour gives you a long time to catch up with somebody, get to know them, and go a lot deeper. I've learned so much about these people that I've worked with for years that I never would have known if I didn't have the show and have the opportunity to ask them some deeper questions.
Yeah. So you've had people on from, we'll just start with Scotty Simpson, the bass player for the Bridge Boys. But you've also had, I saw that you had somebody on from Death Punch, from Five
Finger Death Punch, yes, sir.
Yeah. So with your music that eclectic, that's a big word. And
there you go. It's big for both of us.
Yeah. With your eclectic guests that you have on there, what is it like when you get to interview somebody like from Five Finger Death Punch and then Scotty Simpson? What is that like?
Well, that's definitely a good question. And there's, I grew up in Boston, so I was a big rock fan growing up, and getting to work in Nashville for the the majority of my career has grounded me in the world of country music. And I met Scotty working in Nashville. I've known him for years now, quite a long time. He's one of the first people I met and worked with in Nashville. And it's mostly people like Scotty that I know, studio musicians, touring musicians, people who go on the road and support artists. And, so it's a great opportunity to meet with Scotty and see him. I got to see him when he came through town here last summer. My wife and I went to eat dinner with him and then got to go to the show. He's coming here in a few more weeks, and I'm going to get to go see him again. Seems like the only time I get to catch up with him these days is when he passes through town. So those opportunities are fantastic. I love meeting up with the old friends and stuff. But then every once in a while, I get to throw in a rock artist or somebody who's worked in the rock industry. And that is a little different because it's mostly country artists for the most part. But when I get to talk to somebody in the rock or pop world, that's always exciting for me as well because it's what I grew up on. And Five Finger Death Punch just happens to be, a rock band, heavy rock, and that's one of my favorite bands. So getting to talk to somebody from that team was fantastic. I loved it. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah. Was it so when you were interviewing the guy from Five Finger Death Punch, was it nervous for you because it was your favorite band? Was it like not pressure, but was it nervousness, anxiety, like just wanting to get the show right?
Well, it's definitely one that I was excited for, right? I guess being excited is a form of nerves. I don't really feel like I get nervous, but I do get excited for certain shows. I was excited for Scotty's show. I was excited for the one for Five Finger Death Punch. Those are unique to me. They're people that I want to talk to. I work with a lot of people, and for the most part, I would say 95% of them are fantastic. The ones that come in and come on the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't want them on the show, right? You don't invite somebody you don't want to talk to. And that's also been a learning curve, right? Because I've get people who ask to come on the show, and I've got PR firms who will reach out to me and ask if one of the artists they have can come on the show. And at first I would say, yeah, absolutely, come on the show. And then a few of those people that they sent over didn't really fit what I feel like the audience wants to hear. And maybe a genre of music that's just far enough out there that doesn't make sense for what we're doing. Because, like you said, we're primarily country and rock style music. It's traditional instruments is the way I like to look at it. If your band or your artist that plays a traditional instrument, then you're probably right for the show. So that could be country music, it could be bluegrass, it could be gospel, it could be rock music. That's pretty much the world that I live in, and it's what I know most about. So if you're gonna come over as a hip hop artist, doesn't mean you're not exciting or somebody that I'd like to talk to, but the audience might not relate to it. I might not relate to it. I might not have as much
No.
to talk to you about. So
Uh,
I want it to be best for everybody who's involved. So that's why I try to be very selective with the guests that come on. And the further the show goes, the more selective I'm allowed to be, and the more that I'm reaching out to people versus going through a PR firm or those things. There's a couple PR firms that I do work with that are very, very good, and I enjoy every artist they send over to me. And then there's some that I won't even bother talking to anymore.
So when you say the word rocker, my immediately first thought is Danny Stefanetti, and you got to have her on your show, and William Lee Golden. What are both of those? What was interviewing both of those guys like?
Well, Danny was awesome.
Because I know both of those guys.
Yeah, you do. Yes, sir. You got a relationship with both, and a very good relationship with both of them. I'm kind of jealous. I wish my relationship was as tight as yours. But Danny was awesome. She came on first. She actually gave me this koala bear that sits here on my microphone. So I don't know if you can see that there, but a little koala bear is from Danny, and she's also gone ahead and she sent me her CD, and she's just very, very nice with gifts. But she was fantastic. It was great. I mean, had things in common with her. I went to school in Australia, so got to talk to her about some of the stuff in Australia, and that was just exciting. She was just happy, fun, and her music is fantastic, and she can play
Yeah.
the guitar like nobody's business. So it was just a great conversation. And then William Lee Golden, what can you say? He's a living legend, and just having him on the show. And, I was excited when Scotty came on the show, Scotty being the bass player for the Oak Ridge Boys. But then when you get William Lee Golden agreeing to come on the show, and not only agreeing to come on the show, but I mean, he was a champ. He
Yeah.
came on the show. He was here for the full hour, and he opened up and talked about everything. Nothing was off the table for him to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's just a great opportunity, great conversation, and those are the ones you look forward to. Those are the type of things that mean something to you.
Yeah. And I love both of them. I love Danny Stefanetti and William Lee Golden. Those are two of some of the greatest people you'll ever want to meet. I'm not just saying that because
No, they really are.
I'm not just saying it because I'm on my podcast, but I will defend anybody of that branch of famousness any day. I love them both, and
They're
and
fantastic.
while we are giving shout outs, I have to make mention of one other person who probably does more for anybody than I know, and it's Jeff Panzer. What an incredible man Jeff Panzer is. We are all better people from knowing Jeff Panzer, and he's made a huge impact on my life, and I know he's loved your show and been a supporter of your show. So what does Jeff's support mean to you?
It means everything to me. I mean, I don't know Jeff as well as you or William do. I hope to. I hope to get him on the show. I mean, he's one of the people that I would really enjoy talking to, not only because of his background, but because he has a similar background that I do. He works behind the scenes. He, helps mentor and manage people, and that's really what I enjoy and what I shine at. I'm not somebody who's typically on the stage performing. I'm the person helping them make their records or helping them do those type of things. So I think something like that would be a great conversation to have with Jeff. Matter of fact, I'll probably reach out to him today. I'm that excited about it. But he's just a super nice guy. I've, like I said, only known him for a little bit of time here, but he has been nothing but nice, nothing but supportive of the show. And, obviously with Danny and William and the connections there. And it's just been fantastic. Great guy to work with.
Yes, and Jeff, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for me and my show. And we need, like I said earlier, we need more people like Jeff Panzer who busted his butt to make sure that those artists um, get heard. And wow, what an inspiration Jeff is. But back to you. Love you, Jeff, but gotta get back to Jay now.
You can stay on, Jeff. I'm okay with that. He deserves it.
But he does. He really does. But you know, what for you calms your, like when you got to interview William Lee Golden, were you excited about that, or were you a little bit more pressured because of how iconic he is?
Well, he's definitely iconic, right? I mean, he's one of the big guns. Um, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was excited for sure. He was definitely somebody I was looking forward to. And it's somebody like that. I mean, I take every show and every episode serious, and I prepare for them. And there you go.
Uh,
So yeah, so I was excited about it, and I take every opportunity to prepare for every show, for every episode. I do my research. I try to get as much background as I can on people. Obviously, with William, there's a lot of background. Over
mhm.
50 years of experience. He's got information that's out there for days that everybody knows and everybody's asked him about. So what I've tried to do is try to talk to him and try to find things that he doesn't normally get to discuss, doesn't normally get to talk about. And it was those type of things that made me excited to talk to him. Was trying to take a different approach and trying to get stuff out of him that hopefully he's excited to talk about because he doesn't normally get to talk about it.
Yeah, and like I said, when I say it was an exclusive podcast. It was probably my favorite one of his that I've gotten to listen to, just because you could tell that connection was there between the two of you. I mean, you could tell like you guys have been friends for a lot of years, and it never showed to me one time that you had just met, a couple days prior to that.
I
And
appreciate that.
you know, I have to ask you, because you're such an intelligent human being and a host. I
Please
think
tell my wife.
Jay's an incredible host. Uh, Make sure she watches that show just for this part.
I will. Yes, absolutely. I'll cut that clip out.
There you go. But I was wondering if you had any advice for somebody who wants to start out doing what we do.
As far as podcasting or working in the industry?
Podcasting.
Podcasting. Take it step by step. There's no need to try to be at the top at the beginning. A lot of people get very concerned over, we have to start out with all of the best equipment, all of the best of everything, and then we have to be on Apple's charts, new and noteworthy right out of the gate, all of those type of things. But those are things that don't really matter. Nobody ever listens to a show and says, man, that's Apple noteworthy for sure. They don't think like that. So yes, it's an opportunity, and if you're in the new and noteworthy, it's a little bit of exposure, but it's only a little bit of exposure for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about things like that. What I would worry about is trying to study and learn everything you can about the craft itself. And it takes time. I mean, I've been doing it for years at this point, and I learn something new every single week. And if I waited till I knew everything I know now, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't be at this point, because it takes the experience of doing the shows. So you have to do the shows. You have to learn. You have to learn about the equipment. And you have to learn about the microphones. And you have to learn about online streaming services. You have to learn about websites, things that you just didn't think you would ever need to know about. Developing relationships with booking agencies and with PR firms, or how to design your website. And,
Yeah.
what goes on a website, not just what goes on your show. And, there's so many things to do. Just take it one step at a time and just worry about delivering good content.
And while we are on the topic of your show, why don't we just do this? You have a live show coming up here tonight on, the day of us recording this. You have a live show tonight, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what you have coming up for the people on YouTube on your show tonight.
Oh, fantastic. No, I appreciate that. My show tonight is, we do a live show. It streams to YouTube, and we stream it to YouTube every Monday night, sometimes Wednesdays if we get multiple guests within a week. So tonight we have a young artist. He's a recording artist. His last name is Gagnon, and I'm excited to have him on. He's a very young artist. I think he's only 16 years old, but he's had tremendous success so far. So I'm very excited to talk to him and see what he has going on. But like I said, we stream that show live, and we do it live so we can get interaction from people watching. Anybody who wants to join, ask questions, make comments. And then after that is over, then I take it into my world, into the audio engineering world, and I edit the show, and then it gets released a week from that day. So a week from today, next Monday, as we're recording this, a week from today, the episode with Mr. Gagnon will be out, and that will be released into the audio world. And then I'll go ahead and edit up the video portions and things like that to make clips out of it. Another thing that we do as podcasters is we have to promote the stuff that we put together.
And then I think that's another thing that we could talk about on the advice line, is building connections. Make sure that you have strong connections and relationships with other people, because, promoting yourself ain't going to get you very far. That's when you build connections and you start promoting other people, and then they take, out of time out of their day to promote you. It's all about building connections and having respect for one another.
Absolutely.
It's not a competition. It's respect for one another, and we are all kind of in each other. Well, not kind of. but we're all in each other's corner pulling for each other because we all have the same love and the same passion. And that's bringing independent music to the people that love it, and that's something that, I know for me as a host that I enjoy doing is it's not about me at all. It's about the connections and the relationships I build with my friends and with my family on here, and including yourself. And I think that the podcast community is not so much of a competition, so depending on who it is. The smaller ones, they're a little bit more of a family, but then you got guys like those impulsive boys, and they're always trying to find money. But we do it out of the kindness of our hearts, and we just love one another. Do you think that your music taste range from everything? Is it hard for you to just sit there and just listen to one song, like one genre of music for a day, or do you switch? You know,
No, I listen to the same genre of music a lot. I listen to country music primarily at this point. That's where I spend a lot of my time. I am a big rock fan, so I listen to rock music. I would say country and rock are the two things I listen to all the time.
yeah,
And I don't think there's much of a difference these days between those two genres. So I don't think it's far off. I don't think it sounds far off. And I guess if you went back to the 70s, it might be far off. But these days, I don't think it really is. I think you get a lot of influence of the rock world in country music. And I think the, country music is making its way into rock music these days.
yeah.
So I just think of all of that as one. So I listen to that a lot. I mean, if you really wanted to get nitpicky, the Highway and Octane are the two stations I listen to on Sirius XM.
Oh,
So
those are two great stations. Trust
yeah,
me, I love, and Willie's Roadhouse. You can never
yeah,
go wrong with Joey Nelson. But Jay, I kind of want to. I'm going to finish up this interview by asking you a question. Where can people find you? Where can people keep up with you?
sure. You can find me at jayfranze.com. It's my name, JAYFRANZE.com. And you can connect with me there, not only on the website, email, phone number, and all that stuff, but all the social medias. So you can find everything you need to know right over there.
And please make sure that you guys go over there and support such a great friend of mine and a friend of our podcast. And Jay, I'm going to tell you that this was a personal highlight for me as a podcaster because, I never would have thought in a million years that I would have my podcast take off the way it is, but to have other hosts like you and other ones who have wanted to come on the show and talk to me and open up, it means the world to me. And thank you so much for coming on, and I really do thank you from the bottom of my heart for signing on to do this with as busy as you are.
Well, it's my pleasure. I enjoyed being here. I enjoyed talking to you, and I've enjoyed the episodes I've listened to. And I'm going to go back. I noticed there was another one in there that I wanted to see. Episode 19. I forget.
Yeah,
Oh, uh,
that's
Jimmy
okay.
Bowen. Jimmy Bowen.
Jimmy Bowen from Nashville.
Yeah.
Thank you to Sherry Cranford for hooking that one up. And we're going to get him back on the show as well. So, and we're getting Rudy Gatlin back on here as well. So, two great guests for sure that you will see back here on the KGC show. And Jay, I hope you come back and hang out with us again.
Anytime. Happy to be here.
And Jay, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and Jay. And don't forget to keep up with Jay. And the day of us recording, don't forget to check out Jay's show tonight. And it's going to be released next Monday over on YouTube. Make sure to follow him everywhere that you possibly can. And you're not just supporting a great man, you're supporting a great show as well. And it's coming from me, so it's good. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I love
thank
you guys. Love one another. Thanks for making this happen. And I couldn't do it without you and the Lord. Love you. Love one another. See you soon.
you. All right.
KGC Show, the Cowboy